Hello student, we have already discussed about the alimentary canal and different glands which are associated with the alimentary canal or the digestive system, and these glands are known as the digestive gland. And in this session I am going to talk about the histology of alimentary canal. There is some important terms you have to remember, and it is very important for the exam point of view. So let's start. What are the different layers present in alimentary canal? So in alimentary canal, the outermost layer of the alimentary canal, which is known as the serosa. So suppose that the outermost covering of the alimentary canal, this is the serosa, and inner to serosa, there is the muscularis layer. Okay, so outer is serosa, inner to serosa, the layer is the muscularis layer. So suppose that this is the muscularis layer. Again, this muscularis layer, which has two layers, outer, which is composed of the longitudinal muscle, and inner, which is composed of circular muscle. So outer is the longitudinal muscle, inner there is the circular muscle, and it forms muscularis layer. Then inner to muscularis layer, there is the submucosa layer. Suppose that this is the submucosa layer, and this submucosa layer, this is very important, and this layer, which is most thickest layer out of these different layers of the alimentary canal. So this is the submucosa layer. Then inner to submucosa, there is the inner layer, and the innermost layer, this innermost layer is known as the mucosa. This is the mucus secreting layer. That's why this is known as the mucosa. Okay, and this space is the lumen. This is the lumen. So four layers are present, but sometimes in between mucosa and the submucosa, there is some of the muscles fibers, smooth muscles fibers sometimes present in between mucosa and the submucosa, below the mucosa layer. Okay, and this muscle fiber, this layer which present in between mucosa and the submucosa, in between two, this mucosa and this is the submucosa, in between two, this layer is known as the mucosa muscularis. So mucosa muscularis. So what are the different layers here? So outer to inner, if you add the mucosa muscularis, then outer is the serosa, then inner to serosa we have the muscularis layer, then inner to muscularis layer there is the submucosa layer, then inner to submucosa layer there is the another layer which is known as the mucosa muscularis, then inner to mucosa muscularis, the innermost layer which is known as this is the fourth one, innermost layer, this is the fifth one. So 5 layers present in the alimentary canal. So we have 5 layers in alimentary canal, and these are known as the 5 tunics. This is the 5 tunics are present in the alimentary canal, and it also named as tunica serosa, tunica muscularis, tunica submucosa, tunica mucosa muscularis, tunica mucosa. So these are the 5 layers. So our alimentary canal, which has 5 layers, actually 4 layers, but some part of our alimentary canal there is the another additional layer which is known as the mucosa muscularis. So now look at this figure. This is the fundamental general idea about the different layers of the alimentary canal, and it gives the general idea about the histology of alimentary canal. Here, the outermost covering, which is the serosa, and this covering also here, this covering also known as the adventitia. If serosa absent, if serosa is replaced by elastic fiber, then it is known as the adventitia. So some part of the alimentary canal, there is the absence of serosa, but in place of serosa there is the elastic, and this is known as the adventitia, tunica adventitia. Okay, then inner to serosa, the second layer muscularis. Again, there is the two layers. Outer is the longitudinal muscle, inner is the circular muscle. So in between longitudinal muscle and the circular muscle, there is the mesenteric or Auerbach's plexus. So in between longitudinal muscle and the circular muscle, there is the mesenteric or Auerbach's plexus. Okay, and this is the part of the enteric nervous system. Then inner to muscularis, the submucosal layer. Submucosal layer, this is the thickest layer of the alimentary canal, and it contains another plexus which is known as the submucosal plexus, or it also known as the Meissner's plexus. And these two, Meissner plexus and the Meindrick plexus, these are the two part of the enteric nervous system. And inner to submucosa, that is the mucosal layer, and you can divide the mucosal layer in three parts, but in between mucosa and the submucosa, the layer is known as the muscularis mucosa or the mucosa muscularis. Then it become 5 layer. But if you divide the mucosa into 3 layer, then these are the 3 parts. I will go details. So this is the very fundamental, clear and general structure of histology of alimentary canal. Now come to one by one. So suppose that you take the section from this side. Suppose that this is the general idea about the TS of the alimentary canal. If you take the section here, if you take the section, suppose that this is the outermost layer of the alimentary canal. We will draw like this. So suppose that this is the outermost layer which is known as the serosa. The outermost layer, this is the serosa, and here the outermost layer, it is covered by squamous epithelium. So outermost layer, the serosa, it is made up of squamous epithelium. So this is important. It is squamous epithelium. So now this squamous epithelium is formed of the mesothelium. So next, this serosa layer, inner to serosa layer, sometimes, so underlining of serosa, this is the elastic fibrous tissue. So underlining of serosa, there is the elastic connective tissue fibers are present. So outermost covering, this is the serosa, outermost covering, you can say this is the serosa. So the serosa, this is the outermost covering of alimentary canal, and here, which is made up of the squamous epithelium, it forms the mesothelium, which is smooth and the transparent. Inside the abdominal cavity, such serosa layer aid the suspensory structure. Inside such suspensory structure, our alimentary canal embedded it, and such suspensory structure is known as the mesentery. So this serosa layer, it aids the formation of suspensory structure in the abdominal cavity, and this is known as the mesentery. Okay, so these are the important point you have to remember. So the serosa, this is the outermost layer, serosa, this is the outermost layer, which is the smooth and the transparent, and it forms the mesothelium, and this serosa layer, which is composed of the squamous epithelium, very important, and such serosa layer inside the abdominal cavity, it aids the formation of suspensory structure known as the mesentery. Now, inner to this serosa layer, we have the muscularis layer. Okay. So inner to serosa layer, we have the muscularis layer. Suppose that this is the muscularis layer. Suppose that this is the muscularis layer. So let me erase this portion of serosa. So muscularis layer here, again there is the division of two parts. The outer part of the muscularis layer, which is composed of longitudinal muscles. Longitudinal muscles, the muscle fiber which runs along the long axis of the alimentary canal. That's why if you take the section, then it find like this. So this is the longitudinal muscle fibers. Okay. So this is the longitudinal muscle fiber which present outer side of the muscularis layer, and it present inner to the serosa layer. So this is the longitudinal muscle fiber. So this is longitudinal muscle fibers, and inner to longitudinal muscle fiber, these are the muscle fibers which run in the axis of the circumference, and these are known as the circular muscle fiber. So this is the circular muscle fibers. Okay. So these are the circular muscle fiber. So inner to longitudinal muscle fiber, this is the circular muscle fiber. So both these fiber, it forms muscularis layer. So now the important thing. So now look at this. So in between outer longitudinal muscle, inner circular muscle, there is the nerve plexus. Nerve plexus means, suppose that this is the one nerve fiber, this is another nerve fiber, this is another nerve fiber. So networking of nerve fibers present, and the fusion site of the nerve fibers, there is the bulging or the bit-like structure, and this type of networking structure is known as the plexus. This is known as the plexus. So this type of plexus present in between the longitudinal muscle fiber and the smooth muscle fiber, and these muscle fiber regulate the peristaltic movement, and it also regulate the secretion of different digestive glands secretion. Okay, so these are the nerve plexus present in between the muscles of layer of the longitudinal muscle and the circular muscles, and this is very important part of the histology of the alimentary canal, and these plexus are known as the mesenteric. These plexus is known as the mesenteric plexus or plexus of mesenteric. So this is known as the mesenteric plexus. Or it also known as the Auerbach's plexus. Very important. We have to remember these two terms. So in between longitudinal muscles and the circular muscle, there is the plexus of nerve fibers, and these are known as the mesenteric plexus or Auerbach's plexus. Okay, and this is the one part of the enteric nervous system, the nervous system supplied to the alimentary canal, which is known as the enteric nervous system. Now, inner to this muscularis layer, the thickest layer of alimentary canal, which is known as the submucosa. So this portion, this is the submucosa layer. This is the submucosa. Now, this submucosa layer is important. Why? This submucosa layer, it is composed of loose connective tissue. So the submucosa layer It is composed of loose connective tissue proper. Okay, so loose connective tissue, it contains different types of cells, different types of fibers, blood vessels and the lymphatic vessels also. So the lymphatic vessels which are present in this region, in submucosa region, and now such lymphatic vessels or the networking of or accumulation of lymphatic cells present in the submucosa layer, which is known as the Peyer's patches, and sometimes we can say these are the gut associated lymphatic tissue. So now, so these submucosa layer, this is the inner to the muscularis layer, which is composed of loose connective tissue proper, and it contains different types of fiber like collagen fiber, elastic fiber, reticular fiber, as well as it contains different types of irregular cells. The loose connective tissue which is irregular in shape, the different types of cell, they are present in scattered manner. Okay, and you have already studied the connective tissue in the first year or at the beginning of your session. So these connective tissue contains different types of cell, but the important thing is that here number of lymphatic cells are present. Number of lymphatic cells are present. So accumulation of lymphatic tissues here, and which forms the Peyer's patches. Peyer's patches. This is known as the Peyer's patches or the Peyer patch, and sometimes it is also known as the gut associated lymphatic tissue. So which is also known as the GALT. So this is the Peyer patches. This is the accumulation of the lymphatic tissues, which is known as the gut associated lymphatic tissue. If such gut associated lymphatic tissue present in the bronchus layer, then which is known as the BALT. BALT means bronchus associated lymphoid tissue. And if this lymphatic tissue present in the mucous layer, then which is known as the MALT, mucus associated lymphoid tissue. So the Peyer patches, it present throughout the length of the alimentary canal and in the layer of the submucosa, and it contains different blood vessels, lymphatic vessels. So these are the blood vessels, different cells are present. This is the connective tissue, and here number of lymphatic vessels, reticular fibers, all these are present in the submucosa layer. So submucosa, which is composed of the loose connective tissue, and this is the thick layer. This is the thick layer. The Brunner's gland of the alimentary canal, which also present in this submucosa layer. Now, inner to submucosa layer, we have the mucosa. So inner to submucosa, we have the mucosa layer. So suppose that the innermost, this is the mucosa layer, but sometimes, so this is the mucosa. It is known as the mucosa because it secretes the mucus. That's why this is known as the mucosa. So in between mucosa and the submucosa, sometimes there is the muscles, smooth muscle fiber. There is the smooth muscle fiber, and this muscles layer is known as the mucosa muscularis. This is another more layer. This is the mucosa muscularis. Okay, so if you add the mucus muscularis, then we have 5 layers, or without mucosa muscularis, we have the 4 layer. Okay, so outer serosa, second one is the muscularis, third one is the submucosa, and the fourth one is the mucosa muscularis. Now, inner to the mucosa muscularis, this layer is known as the mucosa. So mucosa, which is divided into 3 in number. So outer, which forms the blind finger-like projection. So this is the blind finger-like projection These blind finger-like projection projecting to the lumen of the alimentary canal, these are known as the villus, and plural, these are known as the villi. So these are villi, which increase the absorptive surface and which is composed of epithelium. So this is the epithelium. Below the epithelial layer, there is the basement membrane. So this is the basement membrane, and below the basement membrane, this portion is known as the lamina propria. So this portion is the lamina propria. Okay, so including basement membrane, you can say this is the lamina propria. This is the lamina propria. Okay, so the mucosa layer, there is the three layers. You can divide the mucosa into three parts. Out, the inner is the epithelium, and inner to epithelium there is the lamina propria. Inner to lamina propria there is the mucosa muscularis. So these are the different layers of the alimentary canal. So here another important thing is the submucosal layer. There is the also nerves plexus. In submucosal layer there is the nerve plexus, like the nerve plexus present in between longitudinal muscles and the circular muscle. So muscularis layer, at the middle, the nerve plexus, which is known as the mesenteric plexus or Auerbach's plexus. But such type of plexus, nerve plexus, which present in this mucous, submucous layer. So this is the, suppose that nerve plexus, and such nerve plexus in submucous layer, which is known as the Meissner's plexus. These are known as the Meissner's plexus. So this is known as the Meissner's plexus. Very important. Meissner. So this is the Meissner's plexus. Such Meissner's plexus also known as the submucosal plexus. Submucosal plexus. This is very important. So the Meissner plexus and the mesenteric plexus, or this is also known as the Auerbach's plexus, these two are the part of enteric nervous system. These are the part of enteric nervous system. So enteric nervous system, the nervous system which is supplied to the alimentary canal to regulate the peristaltic movement. Peristaltic movement means the series of contraction and the expansion of the alimentary canal, which is known as the peristaltic movement, which is performed by the longitudinal and the circular muscles of the alimentary canal. So these enteric nervous system, it regulates the peristaltic movement of the alimentary canal, as well as it regulates the secretion of different digestive glands. Okay, so these are the two part of the enteric nervous system. So enteric nervous system, there is the supply of both the sympathetic nerve fiber and the parasympathetic nerve fiber. So it means that our alimentary canal, which is supplied with sympathetic nerve fiber as well as parasympathetic nerve fiber. We will discuss briefly in the nervous system what is the meaning of sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. So this is the whole about of the histology of the alimentary canal, and there is the some of the important thing, and we are going to see the different types of modification in this mucous layer only for the performing of different types of function. So this mucosa layer also contains this mucosa layer also contains blood vessels, and such blood vessels which supply to this villi as well as this villi also supplied with the lymphatic blood vessels, also supplied with lymphatic vessels. So these lymphatic vessels helping for the absorption of or transport of the fat absorption, it helping for the fat absorption. Suppose that this is the lymphatic vessels which supply to the villi, then these lymphatic fibers is known as the lacteal, LACTEL. So this is known as the lacteal. So several types of modification now we are going to see in the layer of the mucosa for the purpose of performing different functions. Now move to the different part of the alimentary canal, and here there are the several differences or specification in the layer of the alimentary canal. So first go for the esophagus. So esophagus, there is no serosa. This is very important. In esophagus there is no layer of outermost layer of serosa, but this serosa layer, instead of serosa, this serosa layer which is replaced by the elastic fibrous connective tissue, it is replaced by the elastic fibrous connective tissue, and such elastic fibrous connective tissue which present outside of the esophagus and which is known as the tunica adventitia. So this is known as the tunica adventitia. So this is known as the tunica adventitia. So this is very important. Esophagus, there is no serosa but tunica adventitia present. And next important thing is that the esophagus, the wall of esophagus, which is provided with both type of muscles, smooth muscles as well as striated muscles. So tongue also provided with two type of muscles, striated muscles as well as smooth muscles. So here the wall of esophagus also provided with smooth muscle, smooth and skeletal muscles. Okay. Now the mucosa layer of the esophagus, the mucosa layer of esophagus means the innermost layer of the esophagus which is lined by squamous epithelium. So here the innermost layer which is lined by a stratified squamous epithelium. So which is lined by the stratified squamous epithelium. Stratified squamous epithelium. These are the important thing. So the in esophagus there is the some modification here. In esophagus there is no serosa, but in absence of serosa, in place of serosa there is the elastic fibrous connective tissue and which forms the tunica adventitia. And here both the muscles, smooth muscle and the skeletal muscles are supplied or present in the wall of the esophagus, and the innermost layer of the mucosa, the lining is the stratified squamous epithelium. Now move to the stomach. So here serosa present, this type of tunica adventitia is absent. The smooth muscles or the skeletal muscles, only smooth muscles except esophagus, the throughout the alimentary canal except esophagus there is the smooth muscles. And here the stomach which is lined by columnar epithelium. So duodenum also, the wall contains smooth muscles. Small intestine also contain smooth muscle. Then the duodenum, large intestine, small intestine, this part, the mucosa layer, inner lining is the columnar epithelium, columnar epithelium. So except esophagus, the columnar epithelium present in stomach, duodenum, small intestine and the large intestine. Lymphatic cells present, lymphatic tissues present, all part of the alimentary canal. So Peyer's patches or the gullet, Peyer's patches or gullet got associated lymphoid tissue present in all part of the alimentary canal in the mucosa layer and submucosa layer also. And now the lower part of the duodenum or the second part of the duodenum, from second part of duodenum to small intestine or the large intestine, there is the circular fold inside the lumen of the alimentary canal. So from the second part of duodenum, to large intestine, inside the lumen there is the circular fold, and such circular fold is known as the plica circularis, which is known as the plica circularis. This is the plica also known as valvulae conniventes and this also known as folds of Kerckring. So folds of Kerckring, this term is important. Plica circularis is important. So plica circularis, this is the nothing but this is the circular fold of the mucosa as well as submucosa. But actually we are saying that this is the fold of the mucosa. So plica circularis, which present in small intestine also and large intestine also, they increase the surface area of the alimentary canal. It also increase the absorptive area of the alimentary canal. So the lumen of alimentary canal, from the second part of the duodenum to the large intestine, that is the circular fold of mucosa layer. This is known as the plica circularis or valvulae conniventes, or folds of Kerckring, and the plica circularis. These are the two important parts. In case of large intestine, the longitudinal muscle which is thick, and at the anal region and the outermost covering of the large intestine, which is made up of connective tissue, the serosa, which is made up of connective tissue. Okay, and here the large intestine, at the region of the anus, there is the vertical fold which forms the anal column. So these are the important part of the alimentary canal. Now come to the what is the meaning of the actual meaning of the plica circularis, then villi, then microvilli. Suppose that this is the stomach, and from the lower part of the stomach, from the second part, suppose that from this part, lower part of the duodenum, inner side, there is the circular fold, and these circular folds, suppose that these are like this. If you take the section, then you find, suppose that this is the outermost layer, which is the serosa. Inner to serosa, this is the muscularis layer. Inner to muscularis layer, this is the submucosa, and inner to submucosa, this is the mucosal layer. So suppose that here this mucosal layer which forms this type of elevated structure or the fold, this fold is known as the plica plica circularis. Now the inner layer of mucosa, so this is the mucosa. So the inner layer of mucosa, it has number of finger-like projection towards the lumen. These are the blind finger-like projection into the lumen of the alimentary canal. These are known as the villi. So these are known as villi. Singular is villus. Okay. So this is the mucosa. So plica circularis, this is the fold of the mucosa and sometimes submucosa also. Okay. So this is the mucosal layer. This is the mucosal layer. If you take the section of the two villi, then you find these are the two villi here, and the outermost layer columnar. So this is the columnar epithelium. These are the columnar epithelium. In between two villi, there is the depression. In between two, there is the depression, and which is known as the crypts. This is known as the crypts, or the crypts of Leverkuhn, intestinal gland. So this is the intestinal gland. This is known as the crypts. Okay. So this depression, which is known as the crypts, which form the intestinal gland. So this is the mucosal layer, and this is the submucosa, and this is the mucosal layer, then muscularis layer. Okay. So these villi, these two villi, they are supplied with blood vessels as well as lymphatic vessels also. So such lymphatic vessels carry the lipid. So after absorption of lipid, such lipid particles or triglycerides entering into these lymphatic vessels, and such lymphatic vessels supplied to this single villus, which is known as the lacteal. So these are known as the lacteal. These are known as lacteal. These are known as the lacteal. Okay. Now, if you take the one cell here, then you find, suppose that this is the basement membrane. So these are the columnar shaped cell. And at the free surface region, there is the folding, and which forms brass bordered epithelium, and these folds are known as the microvilli. So plica circularis, villus and microvilli, all these things, they increase the absorptive surface of the alimentary canal. So this is the whole about of the histology of the alimentary canal. You have to remember the different terms like the mesenteric plexus, Messiner plexus, and different terms like lacteals, pair patches, galt, balt, and the malt. So these are the important things. Now move to the different types of lymphoid tissues present in different layers of the alimentary canal. The alimentary canal, which is associated with different types of lymphoid tissue. So lymphoid tissue which present basically in the layer of submucosa. So in the submucosa layer, if the lymphoid tissues present aggregately, conjugately, or the accumulation of lymphoid tissue in the submucosa layer, which is known as the Peyer's patches. So Peyer's patches, this is the aggregation of lymphatic tissues in the submucosa layer. and if it present in the alimentary canal, then which is known as the GALT. GALT means the gut associated lymphoid tissue. If this pair patches, if the accumulation of lymphoid tissue present in the mucous layer, then which is known as the mucus associated lymphoid tissue, and this is known as the MALT. Okay, if the lymphoid tissue present in the submucosal layer of the bronchus region, then which is known as the bronchus associated lymphoid tissue. So bronchus associated lymphoid tissue, MALT, GALT, all these are the pair patches. Pair patches means the accumulation of lymphoid tissue in the submucosal layer or sometimes mucosal layer also. Pair patches, it inflamed in the typhoid infection. Okay. So now some of the lymphoid tissues which present in oral cavity and the pharyngeal cavity, and such lymphoid tissues which forms a ring-shaped structure, and such ring-shaped structure is known as the Waldeyer's ring. So this is known as the Waldeyer's ring. So as I have already told that the base of the tongue, that is the lymphoid tissue which is known as the lingual tonsil. On either side of the pharynx, there is also the lymphoid tissues which is known as the pharyngeal tonsil. The nasopharynx, the layer, the wall which also contains the tubal tonsil, and the palate, the end part of the palate, the wall, the roof of the buccal cavity, there is the another lymphoid tissue which is known as the palatine tonsil. So this is the lingual tonsil, base of the tongue. Then this is the palatine tonsil. So this is the palate, the posterior surface of the palate, there is the palatine tonsil. So this is the palatine tonsil. Okay, so this is the position of the different lymphoid tissues in the oral cavity and the pharyngeal cavity. If you arrange these lymphoid tissues in this diagrammatic figure, then it forms a ring shape. So tubal tonsil, this is the position of the nasopharynx. So tubal tonsil present the layer of the nasopharynx. Okay, so this is the two side, and this is the another tonsil which present in the wall of the pharynx. This is known as the pharyngeal tonsil. So top, the pharyngeal tonsil, bottom, that is the lingual tonsil, and immediate to the below of the pharyngeal tonsil, that is the tubal tonsil, and just immediate above the lingual tonsil, that is the palatine tonsil. So it forms a ring shaped structure which is known as the Waldeyer's ring of lymphoid tissues of buccal cavity or the oral cavity and the pharyngeal cavity. So this is whole about of the TS of alimentary canal and different lymphoid tissues of the alimentary canal. You have to remember, you have to understand the concept. In the next session, we are going to discuss about different activators, which also known as the hormones of the alimentary canal. These hormones released when you are taking the food, when you want to taking the food, at that time our nervous system activate, and such nervous system which activate the enteric nervous system, and such enteric nervous system which stimulate the glands of the alimentary canal and start to secrete the activator, or which start to secrete the different types of digestive juice. So there is the another regulation. So in my next class, I will discuss about different types of activator, different types of hormones which regulate the secretion of digestive juice from the alimentary canal. Thank you for watching.